Okay, here we are. We are live. All right. So what's up, man? I'm back with Mgtow Universe. This is the Experienced Optimist, and we're going to be talking about what exactly is Mgtow. So how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Well, let me put the question over to you first. What is Mgtow? Actually, no. Let me. I came to. I was thinking about Mgtow the other day, and I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was saying these were like older Mgtow guys, and they were saying like these new younger Mgtow guys don't even know what Mgtow is about. They don't know the principles for which it was founded on and all this stuff. So I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? Let's talk about what exactly is Mgtow. So let me ask you, what do you think? What's a Mgtow to you?
Well, MGTOW for me is basically um, a man doing things for his own interests, doing things that he enjoy. You know, not going along to get along, not being on autopilot in terms of what society expect out of him. Meaning, like, um, white knighting for women, or being a husband, or being a father. Me personally, I don't mind, um, or rather, it doesn't matter to me if a man wants to be a father or husband as long as he knows the risk. And as we talked about in the last podcast, if he decides to roll that dice anyways, when he knows the math and he loses, he has no one to blame for himself. But MGTOW for me is just putting yourself forward before anyone or anything else.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Now, in this podcast, I like what you said about the kids. In the podcast, it said what they mostly agreed upon was don't get married and don't cohabitate. And they
Right,
said, and like the kids was kind of up in the air because some of them had kids already, but
right.
a couple of guys, their kids have been used against them. So I think that you shouldn't cohabitate, you shouldn't get married. I don't think you should have kids in this environment either because I think it's really really dangerous. What do you think?
It is dangerous, but I wouldn't go so far as to say what men should and shouldn't be doing. I always stop before that. I just my approach is here's the information, here's the math. You do what you want. Like I said, if a man wants to roll that dice, whether it's marriage or having kids or even surrogacy, because there's risk with that also, or uh, we're getting to the point now to where being Mgtow, if you're a business owner, is probably not hiring women at all
Mm,
because of the hashtag Me Too thing. You're rolling the dice with that. It's just it's basically from a man's standpoint, be smart in life.
yeah,
When you simplify it all down, don't do shit because other people are doing it. It's that
yeah.
simple. Yeah.
Well, see, the hard thing about it, like the mid time, they were talking about this. The hardest because when you start saying like when I said I don't think a man should have kids, right? And you start telling other guys this, and I know it's men going their own way, but sometimes you can get caught up. You don't want the guys to get hurt so much, so you try to tell them things that they shouldn't do, and they shouldn't stray from this type of information. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, but the problem with men is you can give them all the information and the stats and the case studies. You give them the data from the past century on how women are and the patterns and all that shit. You and I both know that
Mm-hmm.
not all men, but most men, even men with the ounce of confidence, they will think that their confidence will keep them out of trouble. And I used to be that guy as well. I
Yeah,
was young once. I'm not. I'm not. Old as dirt. I'm 33, but it's just I don't know. Maybe it's that dominance instinct, that ego, that go up against all odds and come out successful. But most guys, not all of them, of course, they learn best through pain.
yeah. So, do you think learning through pain that's where the logical breakdown comes?
What's the
Because
what's the second part of that?
do you think learning through pain that's where the logical breakdown comes? Because all right, like when you are doing engineering or you're building a house or whatever, you make the plans. I mean, you look at the information that you have, you calculate, and then you make a good decision on top of that. But when a guy comes to you and tells you, "Look, man, here are the marriage stats. I don't know about your girl, but she's probably going to take your money. She's probably going to screw you over." Why does the guy not listen to that?
Because he thinks that his woman is above being average, and she assures him that she is above being average. So, what women will say, and I'm sure you've heard these lines before.
Hmm?
Oh, I don't know what kind of women you're meeting. I'm not like that. I know some women that are like that, but I don't hang out with them. I've never been that way. I understand what you're talking about. I have never done that. Like all of these lines, like all these reassurances that women sell you, and maybe they do believe it. But again, whatever, if you want to do bitch management or you want to do traditionalism or whatever, at the end of the day, you have to trust a woman with her own emotions, no matter if you're the pimp as in the hoe or what we talked about before, or you're the husband or she's the wife. It's to me, in my opinion, it's not sustainable because one, you have to do bitch management for as long as you live, and that how long is that sustainable? For your own peace of mind. How many days or how many months or how many years can you mentally, not physically, how many years can you stand mentally beating the shit out of this woman so she can act right? I don't think that's sustainable.
Exactly. The mental manipulation that goes into controlling a woman's feelings and controlling how she acts,
Right.
man, it takes a lot out of you. Plus, you shouldn't even have to do that to another human being anyway.
Right, but you're thinking like a guy, and this is women.
Yeah, exactly. I just put that out there. Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard for a lot of guys to go from having good friends, right? Good friends that they've known for 5, 10, 25 years to then going to trying to control 5, 6, 7 women so that they can stay in line. I mean, the dichotomy there is it's pretty difficult.
It does, it's not sustainable when you have a rotation. Some
Oh
women
yeah,
just
yeah.
naturally fall out because you have to juggle all these relationships. I mean, it's some women you just don't end up calling anymore because it's just too much to juggle, and you got better shit to do. Even if you're a dope boy and you trapping and you talking about you got 6 women in rotation, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 are just going to naturally fall out because you're just not going to contact them anymore. They're going to move on, or you're going to move on. Just not sustainable. It's just 24 hours in a day, and it's just too much to entertain one woman, let alone 6.
Exactly. So let's talk about the 2 things that they, like Mgtow is that everyone agreed upon. Don't cohabitate and don't have a girlfriend, which don't have a girlfriend fits into what we're talking about right now. So what's the deal with not having a girlfriend? How does that benefit you if you're Mgtow?
Well, if you don't have a girlfriend, okay, have you ever seen Whiplash?
Whiplash. What's Whiplash?
It's about the movie where the kid wants to be like one of the greatest drummers. I haven't seen
Oh
it.
yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
I have not seen it, but there was a clip that backup Fem Hater uploaded on YouTube
Uh-huh.
where he's basically there. Him and his girlfriend are sitting in his restaurant, and he's breaking up with her, and he's breaking down why their relationship wouldn't work. And I'm thinking, I've always thought the same thing. He's thinking, okay, um, I have to break up with you. I don't want to break up with you, but I want to be a great drummer. She says, you're not a great drummer. And then he says, I want to be one of the greatest. And then he says, he breaks it down step by step by step. Here's what will happen in the future. I'll have to devote more time to drumming if I want to be one of the greatest ever. You'll resent me because you won't have that. That takes time away from you. You'll start to nag. Um, and then I'll start to resent you because you're asking me to take time away from my life's passion. So, of course, that makes perfect sense. And his girlfriend was like, so you're saying that because of me, you won't be one of the greatest.
Hmm.
And he says, yes. He says, and you're saying that because you'll spend time with me, that means that I'm taking you away from something that you love more than me. I'm paraphrasing. And then he says, yes. Right. And then she's playing this mental kung fu or judo. She's trying to get him to backtrack, and trying to passively aggressively shame him and all this other stuff. But I think if men stuck to their convictions like that, man, like we always talk about men, what men can achieve is there's no telling what we can achieve. I think most women, no, I take that back. Women and all women are a waste of time outside of sex. And if you want kids, okay. I don't really hear guys, talking about wanting to get married all that much. But outside of, sex and kids, what are women really around for?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
But even the sex, right? A lot of times the sex is mundane. It's not even really that good. And then
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like to me that a lot of women don't even value sex, right? Because like sex can be like a spiritual thing. You could make love to your partner or whatever, and then the next day or the next hour, right, you feel amazing. You feel like you've really had this intimate connection with this woman. But then it just seems like a lot of women don't even value that. They don't even try to delve into the intricacies of sex and connecting with their partner.
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't know too much about that. I mean, I'm sure if women been sleeping around like in their 20s or something, it's probably just an act for them. So I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about the second thing then. Don't get married. So for a Mgtow man, what are the benefits if he doesn't get married?
The same as he doesn't have a girlfriend. I mean, it's exactly the same. You don't have a woman in your life nagging you for attention. That's not taking away from your passions. Yeah, you just have a lot more time to yourself. Sure, you don't have a source of sex. You don't have a source of child reproduction, but you get infinite amount of time as long as you live to do what you want to do.
But what about when they say that, well, the woman's there, she provides a good companion, she's there for support.
What does that mean though? Like that, like those first two things, those are empty words to me. Because what does that mean?
That means that when you come home from a hard day's work, she comforts you and says it's going to be okay. She fixes your favorite meal. She tidies up the house. She always gives you encouragement when you're feeling down.
Do you believe that woman exists?
No, I do not. I just played devil's advocate because I know
right
in the beginning she acts like that. Right. I know later on it always breaks down and her true colors come out, right? So yeah.
Right.
But so many men think that though, right?
Well, it's how women sell themselves.
Yeah.
A good companion. Okay. I know, like, if I was 23, I would at 23 I was still believing in the fairy tale. I was coming around to like, yeah, this whole Disney fairy tale shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
But I still believed that there was maybe like a small demographic of women, like, even though I knew it was like 1% or whatever, that may do that long term, because in the beginning it's always good in the beginning. What about 5 or 10 or 20 years down the road?
Exactly.
So and even if that woman existed, right, even if a woman when you came home from work, she had the house cleaned up, she had the dinner made, and you ate dinner and she gave you a happy ending every single day, is that worth half of your resources? Some guys would say yes. I would say no, but at 23, 25, maybe 27, Mgtow Universe would have said yes. But that's the best it could get, and that's a fairy tale.
That's a tough one. Man, you know what? I was watching a YouTube video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this couple, and I was thinking that maybe she could be in the wall. I mean, well, this is probably what I would have thought like way back in the day. So basically, she hooked up with this guy, right? And she rented out this sweet condo in LA. And his birthday was coming up, and she tried to throw him off, so he went no. So he was doing something else, and she went to make restaurant reservations or something like that. So he thought that was his surprise, but what she did behind his back was she got all his friends together, some who lived in other states. One guy flew in from New York, and she set up this huge party, right? And they all came, and her friends came, and they had this huge party, and everything was great. Like they filmed the whole thing. She set up like food there, catered food, and when the guy got up to speak, the boyfriend of this girl, he said that, I mean, she knew exactly what to do. He said that, you know what, this woman is extremely special to me. I mean, I never had a woman like this. She knows that I really don't like, spending a lot of money or whatever, but I like when I can have my friends close to me, my closest friends there to help me enjoy my life, enjoy my birthday. And he seemed like he was on the verge of tears, and to look at her face, she was like, yeah, you know, uh, you could tell that she loved this guy, right? Yeah. But I was thinking, I knew down the line, because she's a pretty attractive woman, but I'd seen girls like her before. I knew that it was, I wouldn't say that it was an act, but I knew that later on down the line that she was probably going to turn on him. But if you're a guy and you experience that, how hard would it be to not believe that there's a no wall? You know what I mean?
And this is one of those things where it comes with experience. So if a woman did that for me, yeah, I'd be impressed that she made the effort, because women really don't make the effort all too often. But at the back of my mind, I know that she's also running game.
Yeah.
Or at least I would think that she's running game. I can't know because I don't know. I'm not inside her head. I just know that what she's doing, maybe this is year one, maybe this is year two. And again, that 2-year threshold is as good as things are going to get. After that, it's going to be steady, or it's going to be a downhill slope. So I know that, yeah, she may do this out of the kindness of her heart, but you better believe when her birthday come around or Valentine's Day, you better come out the woodworks. And I just assumed that, yeah, I appreciate it, whatever. I just assumed that, they just run a game.
Well, I'm glad you said game, right? How come, all right, girl game is different from guy game. Girl game always plays on your ego, right? She does all these nice things. She massages you. She gives you sex when you want it and all this stuff. Now, why do you think that men always fall for a girl game? Or maybe they don't understand girl game, you know what I mean?
Because men are not used to women making an effort. They're used to them making an effort. So when a woman comes around, or you're with a woman and she cooks you dinner out the blue, or she, maybe she dresses up in lingerie just out of the blue, or she gives you a happy ending at the door when you're coming home from work. Something out of the blue like that. It's just so rare for women to make an effort. And men know that it's rare that for women to make an effort. Girl game is basically giving a compliment, maybe a back massage, happy ending, maybe 2 happy endings in one day. It's just something simple. They don't have to spend money, because guys don't require women to spend money on them. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take much. If you're willing to suck your man's dick every day or 4 days out of the week, you're going to get a ring. I promise you. It doesn't matter if you're sexually attractive or you're a basic bitch. You're going to get married.
Yeah.
So
why do you think that? All right. So the guy gets married or whatever. Why do you think? Why are men so surprised when it goes bad? When love goes bad? Why do you think they're so surprised?
Because they're thinking of the situation as they would be. They're putting themselves in the woman's situation, and they think that women think like men. Every time, the reason why I don't argue with women anymore, or at least I try my best to stay away from it, is that no matter how much stats or facts you give them, they will talk about their feelings. And you can't argue with someone's feelings. So when when you're the guy and you notice that your wife or your girlfriend's behavior is changing, and you know it's changing, and you ask her what's wrong, she's not giving you anything, but you know something is off. And when the end comes, you don't understand why it happened. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you didn't give enough attention. Maybe the sex wasn't good enough, or maybe she was just burned out and she just wanted to move on, or maybe she just wanted to hop on a different dick.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sometimes it really is that simple. But guys try to rationalize why it's happening, and women, in my experience, women are very bad at articulating their thoughts. They're very good at articulating their feelings, but their thoughts not so much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the thing is, I always say now that every woman is, and I made a video about this, every woman is basically just like a shady friend, a fair weather friend. And if you look at it like that, a fair weather friend will always, when you ask like a dude that screwed you over, hey man, why'd you screw me over? Like the dude can never give you a straight answer. He's like, hey man, and he'll try to put it back on you. Hey, you should have never trusted me. You knew that I came from a broken background. You knew, you know what I mean? And I think women are the exact same way. If you look at women like the average shady friend that you've come across in your lifetime, and then just always look at them like that, then it really, you won't have as many problems, I think.
Yeah, that's true. But if you look at women as potentially shady friends, then you're going to stay away from them anyways.
Well, so here's the thing. It's funny. I was listening to Carmen Electra and Dave Navarro when they were back together. See how old I am. They were back together. When were they together? They were together like what 15 years ago or something. Anyway, so they were talking about vultures, which are basically shady friends, and she said that, and he said that you can have a good time, a lot of good times with vultures. People who were there when you're famous and just want to take advantage. You can have a lot of good times. And I find that women are the same way. Even though they're shady friends, you can have a lot of good times with these women. You can go to waterfalls with them. You can have sex on the beach with them. I mean, all these good times with them. But then at the very end, understand that a shady friend is always going to screw you in the end.
Right. Oh, you just don't see or hear from them ever again.
Oh, yeah. Or, whatever. They'll just ghost you. And a lot of shady friends do that, right? You playing like, hey, man, let's go to Cancun and hang out and mac on these chicks. And it's like, oh, yeah. And then at the time you get to the airport, the dude ghosts. And then you call the dude, like, hey, man, what happens? Ah, man, all these excuses and stuff. So, yeah, women react the exact same way.
Right.
So, also in your logo, right? No cohabitation, no girlfriend. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Right.
So
and don't have kids. Right.
Don't have kids. But you're not telling the guy to not have kids. You're just saying, hey, man.
Okay, so that part about me not telling men what to do.
Yeah.
When I made this logo, I know I said that, but the logo is just basically, basically don't be an idiot. Do what you want, whatever. But if you do these things, you're basically being a fucking idiot. And you don't have to watch my content. There's plenty of Mgtow content producers out there. But, all these traps, the girlfriend trap, the wife trap, the kid trap, it's just all these traps. Why are you participating in them? Like, really, really stand back. Give yourself like 10 minutes. When you're in the shower, when you're thinking about the meaning of the universe, start thinking about like why it's important for you to do these things that society wants you to do. And I don't know, if you have an answer that you're fine with, okay, go for it. But again, as I say, it's a risk. As long as you understand the risk, go for it. But if you get fucked, and rather when you get fucked, you can't put it on nobody but yourself.
Yeah, I was listening to Sunrise Hoodie, which is another Mgtow provider, and he was saying something about how he was relating male-female relations to like the praying mantis or the black widow, one of them. And I was thinking about it, and it does seem like the society that we're living in, it's like a black widow society. Like the men get preyed upon, and they just get sucked dry of their resources. And I wanted to ask you about what you thought about that.
I think prey upon is a little strong because women, as I always say, women cannot force men to do anything.
Well, not only
So,
women, but society as a whole.
well, society can't force men to do anything either.
That's true.
I mean, the smaller group of men can't force the larger group of men to do anything. Even with all the if larger group of men to say, "Fuck it, I'm not doing it," then are we gonna put them all in jail if they choose not to go to war through the draft? Are you gonna what can you do? Because the women cannot force men to do a goddamn thing. So that's why I say I stay away from the word pray. Although I understand why people use it because all a woman has to do is just be around a man and flood her eyes and smile and half a girl's out and he's hooked more times than not. So I get it. But the guy still has a choice to make, especially if he knows the risks.
I think people are looking at like the Black Widow spider, right? Willingly accepts his own death, I guess. Or is it instinctual? I'm not sure. But is it an instinct in man to where he allows himself to be used by society and women?
Well, when you're raised from the time you're a little boy that you're disposable, where you have most likely your single mother telling you that you should do this to make women happy. If you do this to make women happy, then they'll reciprocate. And of course, by the time you get your first girlfriend, you know that's not the truth. It's just we are taught over and over and over that we should be disposable, whether to God and country, whether to God, or whether to women, or whether to some other man's children. Like that's why I say like this line, the line about men. What line? Where do men put this line to where they said enough is enough? And I don't know if there is a line that men are willing to draw in the sand when it comes to women. That there's just everyone wants to fuck. Everyone, well, not everyone, but most people want to have kids. So sure, if I got to be disposable to get what I really want, or if I got to be disposable for my legacy to exist or whatever, then they'll do it. Women are not taught this. You ever know, like this whole being disposable for being a wife or whatever? Women are not taught that crap. They're taught you should never settle. You should never be satisfied. You should always go and get what you can, whether it's from your career or whether it's from a man. You know, shoot for the sky. Men, not so much. We're taught we should be happy with what we got or whatever we can get.
Exactly. But even a lot of guys even shoot for the sky when it comes to when you make a lot of money, whatever, you shoot for the sky in terms of I get the most beautiful woman and this is gonna satisfy me. Look at how much money I've made, look at how powerful I have become. And they still end up getting screwed.
Yeah, because they think that they try to buy the woman, and the woman can, and most women can be bought, but they still want the fairy tale. I mean, even the guys that's like, well, I'm never getting married, but I'm just gonna fuck these hoes or whatever. Okay, fine. Is that sustainable? How long is it gonna be when you do that? Maybe you want to get married in your 40s, or maybe, or whatever. But they still want the fairy tale. If men are not chasing the fairy tale, again, I don't know if America is America. If men just outright reject the fairy tale. I really don't. I mean, male disposability, even though, obviously it's a terrible thing for men, it has its uses in terms of the macroeconomic scale for societies. It works. Men are getting put through the meat grinder, whether it's through war or through the family court or creating businesses and opportunities for others. Because if I have a Fortune 100 company, I can have any woman on the planet I want, and that's true. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna shoot for that, and I'm gonna create. I created 10,000 jobs. I make $10 billion a year. I am the shit, right? And then he gets taken to divorce court, or he has to pay alimony for the rest of his life, or whatever.
It doesn't make any sense. Well, if you look at what's his name, the Microsoft guy, right? Bill Gates.
Right.
Now, he can get any woman on the planet he wants, but he hooked up. I mean, but you see the woman that he hooked up with, right? And then the
Right.
same thing goes with Buffett, right? You see the woman he hooked up with. So I don't necessarily think that they do it for women necessarily. I think they may do it for glory. Maybe subconsciously they do it for women.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of men that do things not because of women, but just because they want to be like jiu-jitsu guys, right? Like when I was into jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of guys who want to get their black belt. They wanted, but they didn't do it for women. They just wanted it because they wanted to be a great martial artist.
Dominance instinct.
Oh, is that? Yeah, maybe dominance instinct. Yeah,
but I mean, they want to be the best.
Yeah, they want to be the best. Yeah,
that's fine. I think. Well, LeBron James had this interview, and I cannot find that video anywhere. I remember it was way back in like 2006, 2007 ish, where he said he admitted that he could have any woman that he wanted, but knowing that he could have any woman was enough for him. Instead of actually going out and sleeping with this woman and that woman and that woman, it's just knowing that he could have any woman he wants was enough for him. That satisfied his ego. So yeah, I mean, dominance instinct for women, whatever.
That's funny because a lot of women, the value that they add to your life is nothing. Like I remember this one guy said, I was listening to a podcast just I think yesterday, and the guy said, sex really has no value. Sex actually depletes the man of his energy, and ultimately, as a woman knows that sex has no value, but they're like, well, if you're willing to put so much money into this, you're like, yeah, I'll sleep with you or whatever. I know that sex has no value, but you are placing too much value on sex, and I'm just going to take advantage of it.
That's wisdom, though. That comes with time, in my experience. Like, but a guy that's 20 years old that's hearing that, he ain't going for that. He's trying to fuck these hoes out here. I tell you, if I was 25 years old and I heard that, I wouldn't believe it. It makes sense. Like, yeah, it does deplete you of your energy, but I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm trying to fuck this bad bitch with the bad ass over here. Fuck all that. Now, 33, of course, I agree with them 100%. Yeah. But these young guys, nah. They gotta get the wisdom for themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I made a video called "What's the Payoff?" And I'm like, after you have sex with, like, man, I think after like 25 girls, man, you're like, man, I mean, like, damn, like nothing really improves in my life, and I'm losing money. Like, I'm not getting taller, I'm not getting more fit. You know what I mean? It seems like there is no payoff. But then these dudes, these PUA coaches and all that stuff, they'll tell you, man, just keep on banging, man, keep on doing, and you're not becoming better as a human being. As a matter of fact, I think you're losing ground as far as achieving what you want to achieve in life, which goes back to don't cohabitate, don't have a girlfriend, I guess. But it should be like, don't chase women too.
Right. Well, if you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a wife, and you don't want to have kids, then, I mean, I guess you could be sport fucking, but eventually that shit gets old too. But I think most men, they have a hard. If most men thought, what is my life? Who am I if I'm not working towards gaining more resources to impress women? Who am I without that?
Yeah.
Do athletes exist? And again, that's why I say, like, yeah, maybe, a Bill Gates is doing this for dominance instinct or just to satisfy his ego. But these athletes, man, like, they got this money because they want to stun on these hoes. And the hoes are going to come. They're going to come.
Okay, so let's say there was no more hoes, right? No more freaks or whatever. And
women wouldn't exist.
Okay, well, yeah, if they're like no more women, right? For the athletes, do you think athletics would dry up? So I still think they'll still play.
Yeah, but in my experience, my very limited experience in this world, that if men are not trying to impress women, men are generally very cheap. It's only when they're trying to impress women is when, the luxury cars, the J's, the expensive clothes, the jewelry,
Mhm.
all that stupid shit comes out. If there aren't women around, and again, I don't know why they wouldn't, just hypothetically speaking, it would probably dry up eventually, not immediately, of course, but it's like, yeah, I want to play basketball, but I'm um, most of my time is going to playing this sport. And what is my really big payoff? Yeah, I get a lot of money, but what's the purpose? Why am I doing this? I'm not getting validation from women. I already know I'm a good basketball player. I don't need much money. Like, would that make men happy if there are no women to give them validation? I guess that would be the question, the overall question.
Okay, so all right, so women give men validation. I agree with that for sure. I'm just being devil's advocate here, but you see so many powerful men, athletes, politicians being taken down by women, time after time
You know
after
why, right?
time.
You know why, right?
Well, yeah, we talk about this all the time, like the ego and all that stuff. But at some point, you have to realize the Disney fantasy can't be that strong.
Well, at that and that and well, I'm not talking about the wives and stuff. I'm just talking about like the interns and shit like that. Guys just want to fuck, and everybody knows, men with money and or power and or popularity will fuck the most beautiful women. That's why you hear about these politicians. That's why you hear about the Bill Clintons. That's why you hear about these athletes. They have like 4 and 5 baby mamas and shit like that because they know that they can fuck these hoes. They got the paper.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, when I compare like some of these freaks that they have sex with, and you'll see the pictures of them, to high end escorts that cost like $1,000 an hour, maybe $500 an hour, the high end escorts are way finer and can probably provide more sexual gratification and ego gratification than these normal women that these guys are getting trapped by. Why don't they just get with the high end escorts?
Because if they want them to be discreet, that's why like I've heard escorts making like 30 grand a night.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, they want them to be discreet. Then that's basically what you're paying for. You're not paying the hoe to fuck. You're paying them to leave and shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. So yeah, there is of course a market for that. Um, I don't know. I think guys just want to get their dicks wet.
Well, perfect example, right? T.I. and Tiny. What's going on there, buddy?
Last time I heard that they were getting a divorce, but I saw them hanging out together in a video after their show was over. I don't know if they're getting divorced or what, but I've heard that they brought in other women, they having threesomes,
Yeah, exactly.
they get down all kinds of shit. I'm like, oh shit! But when you're Ti and you're worth $500 million, what is your wife going to say? No.
No, what I'm saying is like she's not really that attractive. You know what I mean? Like when you have all that money, wouldn't you be with someone? I don't know, man. More attractive than her? I don't know.
Depends. I mean, I think if you're a guy, when you have money like that, you have flexibility, you have options. Yeah, you can be with a basic bitch that gives you compliments and rubs your back and gives you happy ending every single day. That's the woman. If you want to get married, I guess that's the woman that you would marry. But then on the side, you can have like your high end woman that she really ain't doing all of that, but she's just a pretty face and she has a nice body, and you're just sport fucking. That's
Hmm.
not the woman. That's your side chick. That's not your wife.
Hmm.
And I've noticed that a lot. Like the wives, the main chicks, they're basically basic bitches,
Yeah, exactly.
and the side chicks, they're the ones. They're the bad ones.
That's what. Okay. So, and we were talking about this a little bit last time. The Mgtow Playboy. When I read about the Playboys back in the day, it seemed like they were Mgtow. They generally spoke a couple languages. They had money, but they indulged in they indulge in things that they want to indulge in, like yachting and race car driving and stuff like that. And they never really committed to a woman, and they always live life on their own terms. To me, I think the Mgtow Playboy is how men should go. What do you think?
Yeah, but usually guys get tired of that. It's not, those are basically hobbies. They're not like a lifelong vision. Like,
Mm.
it's like say like a Nikola Tesla, right? His his drive for scientific discovery, that's not something that goes away when you want to get married. Like that race car shit, that the sailing boats and everything. Yeah, maybe they want to settle down. They don't want to live like the fast life anymore.
Oh
That
no,
comes and goes.
what I'm saying is these guys didn't want to settle down. Like I think there was one guy in particular where instead of settling down, it's something. Oh no, what happened was he got sick and he wanted to go out on his own terms. And instead of fading away, because I think he had cancer or something like that, he killed himself because he didn't want to. He knew he had enjoyed life and a lot of women over his life, and he didn't want to go out like that. So when I talk about the Mgtow Playboys, these guys that just do whatever they want to do, and they don't ever get serious with women. However, they will indulge once or twice, here and there with women, but they don't ever get serious. And I think that's better than the average guy.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with men doing that, but what I find that usually when the guys are living that fast life or doing things that doing thrills and skydive, it just over time they just settle down.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just sure there are exceptions, but like at some point, usually they want to settle down. Like the guys that really have like a life's mission, like a scientist, you ain't getting them niggas to settle down ever. Not if they like that guy, like the kid in Whiplash.
Yeah.
You're not going to get him to settle down unless he's probably in his late 50s or 60s when his career is done, and whatever. But you're not going to get him to settle down 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s. That's just not happening because he has a vision for his life.
That's funny you say that because I remember Carmen Electra, Dave Navarro, they were together, and she mentioned when she broke up with David Navarro that a lot of the rock stars never want to settle down. There's just something about them, they never want to settle down. Do you think that's part of who they are as people? Like when you become a rock star or whatever, does it become impossible to settle down because you just have too many things going on in your life?
Guys don't want to settle down. Guys, in my opinion, guys really don't want to settle down. If you give guys just want to, usually they want to fuck. I mean, they'll settle down when they want to have kids, but guys are not in a rush to really have kids. Guys know what it is when you get married. You got to hear the wife nag. You got to hear the crying kids. You just don't want to do that. You just want to have fun. Fuck every now and then. You want to make great music. You want to do what you love and have fun. And have fun doing it. Marriage is not fun for men. That's why women fantasize about it and men don't. It's just, it's not, there's nothing fun about it. No, it's not.
Well, marriage would be fun if men got out of marriage what was sold to them when they were young. Like you have the Cinderella woman who's always there for you. She loves you no matter what. She's if you go broke, then she'll be there for you. She takes care of the kids. She takes care of you at the same time. I mean, if that Disney fantasy or whatever was real, I think that men would love marriage.
Yeah, but men also understand that you have to pay to get that. I mean, yeah, the woman that stays with you regardless of your income, whether you're getting it or not, that's rare. Even if you're talking about women,
exactly, yeah. But that's what women will say, though, right? When they first get with you, they'll say, "Yeah, it's not about money. I love you for you." And then you buy into that. You're like, "Man, this girl is different than every other girl." And then
that's what they're trying to sell.
Caught up, yeah. Man.
That's how they sell you on it. I mean, I'm not like all these other women. I'm not like all these other stupid assholes out here. I know how petty they are. I'm not like them. I know women like that. I don't hang around them or I got some friends that are like that and they're crazy. It's the same old sales
female
tactic.
game. Yeah, like we were talking about. Yeah.
When
So
you're hip to it, that shit is just hilarious.
yeah, it's funny now that I'm older and I finally accept it for what it is. I'm like, man, like how did I, you know, how did I get fooled by this for so long? Like this female game, and the thing is, a lot of these game books that you read or these guys talking about game, they don't I don't think they know too much about female game. You know what I mean? Like as a matter of fact, they'll talk to you about like how to seduce her, how to get her to come around. But the thing is, when she's coming around to you, it's only because she sees you as a pawn that she can exploit. But you're
Right.
thinking, like, you're reading the game books or whatever, and you're like, oh, yeah, I got this girl to come back around. You know, I did this. I demonstrated a higher value. I negged her. I did all this stuff, and she came around. But she's coming around because you just got that new job as that nightclub promoter, and now you're promoting, like, the hottest clubs in L.A., and that's why she's coming around. She's not coming around because she likes you, you know?
The only thing that whenever you ask, when guys really want to play this game, all you got to do is ask them, are you prepared to play that game for the rest of your life?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because it's bitch management, whether you want to call it pickup or you call it, I don't know, whipping a woman into shape physically or mentally. But it's a never ending game. Women, it's not like you whip women once. Again, I'm talking mentally, not physically.
Yeah.
It's not like you whip them once and women never try you ever again. No,
exactly.
No, they're going to try you again and again and again and again and again. Now, what I do like about alpha male strategies approach is like, well, she ain't sticking around long term any goddamn way, so fuck it. But again, that's a young man's game, and is women really worth your time? Especially renting a car and all these nice clothes and all the other stupid shit. No, but I don't know. It's just dealing with women is just not worth it outside of the sex. And how valuable is sex to you?
Yeah,
I think when you get older, it's less. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I remember when I was younger, I was thinking that women valued sex, and one of the things that had me in the red pill rage for a long time was that I found out that women don't value sex. Like you can make a woman orgasm 50 times, she'll still go out and cheat. She'll still steal your money. She'll still do like all these obnoxious things, even if you make her feel really good. So what's the point? She doesn't care about sex really.
Right.
She only cares about herself in the long term.
Right. Exactly. And from a biological standpoint, I completely understand why women play the hypergamy game. It makes sense from their perspective. I get it. I do not hold that. I used to hold that against them. Like, these women are supposed to be our equals, but why do they think completely different in this context, in relationships? And I get it. They're just trying to maximize their expectation, and men are trying to maximize their. I think Patrice O'Neill said, men are trying to get the most bang for their buck, and women are trying to get the most buck for their bang.
But it still doesn't make sense with hypergamy to me is just nothing but greed. And I see what happens to women when they become too greedy. Like they always make bad decisions, and they always destroy themselves. Like I think that men are on an upward slope, and then I saw this kind of like Mgtow's freedom, and then women are on the downward slope. It seems like they always make the worst decisions that's going to not only destroy their lives, but the people around them as well.
Right, but the reason why women are greedy is because, as I said before, they've probably had men and boys hitting on them since the age of 12. So now you're talking about a woman that's 32.
Yeah,
you're talking about 20 years of men chasing her ass. Like, why wouldn't she be greedy? It's like, okay, well, I have a rotation of 50 guys that want to get in my pants.
Yeah.
I'm going to filter out the very best or the funniest or the most hood or whatever. Yeah. And they've had the option. Now when they're 40, that list dries up. But you're talking about almost a quarter of a century of just men chasing them. They've never had to think about what happens when this doesn't work out, because I've never had to deal with that before. So why would I prepare myself for that now? Of course, it always when they're in their 40s, it always ends the same.
Yeah, it
They just
always.
end up being bitter and old and
Yeah, exactly.
dangerous.
And the thing is, like, it's happens to other women in their life, so they should know. But here's the deal: like the Pitt effect, right? So you have Angelina Jolie. You're not getting any better than Brad Pitt. It's just not ain't gonna happen. This dude, and then she tries to lie and say that he's beating the kids and he's doing all this stuff, and it comes out that she lied. I mean, why would you destroy your life like that? I mean, as far as like hypergamy is concerned, you can't do any better than this dude. This dude, like, if he were to leave her right now, he can still get like any girl he wants, and he's only gonna make more money. So I see this all the time with women. They'll get with dudes, they're good looking, they have everything going for them, and then they'll break up with this guy, and then they won't get anything else, and close to the dude. So I don't understand like how hypergamy has helped human civilization when they always make dumb decisions.
Well, if Angelina doesn't want to be with Brad anymore, and as we said, resentment builds, breeds contempt or resentment. Excuse me, familiarity breeds contempt or resentment. Maybe she's not sexually attracted to him anymore. Maybe she just hates his face and she doesn't want to look at it anymore. Women are petty like that.
Yeah.
She can always play the alimony card. She can play the false child abuse card. There's no consequence for her for doing any of these things. So why not? Why not get the most as you can? You already have your own money. You can get his money.
Yeah.
You could destroy him just by saying this and that. It's not an accident that women have these patterns.
Yeah.
Whether it's the false child abuse or false sexually assault or hashtag Me Too. It's obvious.
Exactly. Well, it goes back to my theory like we talked about the last time. I still think it's because a woman only stays with a guy long enough to where the time goes by that she could procreate with the dude, and then she loses interest and she needs to move on to the next guy. I still think, but I have no scientific reasoning to back that up. But yes, all right. So all the stuff we talked about, right? The girl, being shady, the girl leaving, the girl trying to stop your dreams, being a dream killer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you shouldn't cohabitate. That's why you shouldn't get married, and that basically is what Mgtow is all about.
Yeah, you have
the guy from himself.
Right. It's basically when you're single and you're making your own money, you have maximum mobility and flexibility. Whenever you have a girlfriend and or a wife and or a child, that mobility and flexibility goes right out the window. So why would you give that up for some sex? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Make your money as long as unless you have like prostate cancer or something like that, or you have ED, you can make babies to the day that you die. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing to get married? You know where that leads to. Like, it doesn't make any sense for men to follow the same timeline as women. Women have their limits. Like 35 is the cutoff point. Your cutoff point is infinite, assuming that you don't get sick or have cancer or anything, as I said before. Why are you thinking like them? There's no reason for any man to get married ever.
Well, it goes back to the shady friend thing, right? Let me ask you a question about this, because I said earlier that women are the shady friends in men's lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do men, and they do this with shady friends as well, they're male friends, why do they tolerate the shadiness of guys being in their lives and just going to take from them? You see this with a lot of sports stars. Why do they tolerate those guys?
Money, dick, laughter. Who knows? It's something petty, something stupid. Why does a woman hang around a man that's beating the shit out of her? Maybe she likes getting beat. Maybe getting beat gives her some sort of excitement. No one ever talks about that narrative. Maybe nice guys that would never think about beating them is just not her type. Maybe that she likes getting slapped upside the head because maybe makes her wet or whatever. We don't talk about that stuff. Who knows? I mean, we know women have rape fantasies. Shit. How bad can it get from there? I mean, so anything is possible if they're doing that. So who knows? It's not a popular narrative because again, women pay the advertiser's bill, and if you're a guy of any means and you go on like on the View and you say something like that, that's the end of your career. Like, maybe women like to get the shit beaten out of them. Some women certainly like to get choked out and have rape fantasies. Why not?
You know, that's funny because one of the articles I read, there was this woman, right? She had a husband. She loved her husband. That's what she said, right? She loved her husband. But then she was sleeping with a dude that was into BDSM, right? Yep. So he would like tell her like when to come and what to do and what to wear and all this stuff. So she considered herself a feminist, right? And she didn't want to give up any power, but she would give up all her power to this one guy while she was still sleeping with her husband. Like, how do you explain that?
Her husband is probably a good provider, and the side dude is what she wants sexually. That's certainly that's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, women like that, they like getting the shit beaten out of them.
That's the thing, right? So here is a feminist. See, that's the thing, right? When you listen to a woman, you can't like. That's the reason why you really can't take them seriously. This one guy brought up a good point. He said that even though she's with a BDSM dude, right, and she's get told what to do and all that stuff, she's still the one in the power position because she's getting what she wants. So a lot of guys think that like if you can tell a girl what to do and do all this stuff, she's like, look, man, look how she's following my point. Like pimps say this all this shit, this stuff all the time, right? But then ultimately the woman wants it, so it's like you're just doing something that she wants anyway. So she's still winning in the long term. So she has the guy that she's sleeping with, her husband, that she says she loves, and then she's also getting her fix from this BDSM from this other guy. So she's winning in both arenas.
Right. And also you can't control a woman in the system that is set up for men to fail. I mean, again, this relationship, the guy that's beating her with the whips and the chains or whatever, he may think he's in control or whatever, but the moment she gets tired or the moment she's tired of looking at his face or whatever, all she got to do is go to the cops and says, hey, this dude is beating me with whips. Here's my marks. Go arrest him. He's fucked.
Oh, yeah.
He's not in the position of power in that model. She is. So no matter what model you choose, whether the pimp is the hoe or he's the side chick or whether it's the wife or it's the girlfriend, all of these models depend on how the women feel. And the moment she is tired of you or the moment she's not up for it or the moment she just wants to move on, you're done.
Yeah. See, that's the problem I have with alpha male strategies, though. Now, I'm not saying the guy's a bad guy, but he's not talking about that when he tells these guys to be alpha, dress a certain way. He's not telling guys that.
Well, if him or any other dating coach talk about that, they would be undermining their own message. If dating coaches let out and said that, you could follow all of my advice and women could still screw you over because this is the system that we live in, how successful would that dating coach would be? Probably not. Not very. It's just because now the risks are obvious, right? You can't have your head up your ass when the person who you're looking to for advice is telling you, okay, if you play this game, you can get fucked. So, yeah, I don't expect him or any other dating coach to come out and say it, but nobody can deny the risks because everyone sees the same world that we see. Men are not in a position of power over women at any point. Women have the power, even if they're getting their ass beat, because they can end it all by calling the cops or calling Pookie and Ray Ray or calling a judge or whatever. There's so many goddamn hotlines and resources. Like it's a man talking about he has power over a woman. That's hilarious. No, you don't. Not in this country, you don't.
Man,
not in countries that don't white knife women, that's a different story.
Yeah, they were saying that even in the Middle East, when some of the refugees are coming from the Middle East over to Germany and places like that, they said the first thing that women do to get out of that culture is they ditch the men. They get over there and then one day their wife is gone. So here you have, right, Islamic women who's basically brought up in that culture, right? And they do everything the man says in some of the cultures. And then they get over to a place like Germany, Sweden, all those other places, and they ghost the dude immediately. I would think that they would have a harder time doing that, but I guess they're saying that happens a lot in those countries now.
I don't know if I don't know, but I have heard those stories. But again, the reason why women are doing that is because they're going from a culture where they didn't have power to a culture that they have complete power. So of course that of course the woman could ditch the man with no consequence whatsoever. If they did that back in their other country, maybe they got stoned to death, or maybe they got their ass beat. But in the Germanys of the world, and certainly the Swedens, there's no consequence for that. So of course it's hypergamy again. Women finding a better deal, not with another man, but with the government in this instance. So it's to be expected. Women are women. So
yeah, women are women, but a lot of guys don't believe that.
Guys want to get their dicks wet and they want to live the fantasy.
All right.
The moment they stop believing in a Disney fantasy and synthetics, I'm really excited about synthetics. The moment synthetics come around, all that shit is dead.
Man, so many guys I hear like on Mgtow channels, not even on Mgtow channels, but other channels as well. They say, "Oh man, I would never do that." Blah, blah, blah. But there was one guy, I think Alpha Ronami something. Anyway, he said something. He said, "Look, with the women out here today, and this dating has changed so much. The women have changed so much. If a guy wants to have sex with a rubber doll, it's almost better that he does that than to get with these women because he can go to jail, he can lose his kids, he can lose his house, he can lose so much. But with a rubber doll, he's not hurting anybody. He's not hurting himself. He's not hurting society. So in this gynocentric society, he's better off doing that."
Yeah. So, yeah, the math is undeniable. The risks are undeniable.
And then if the sense comes out, I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, what does it say about women that men are quitting women for sex dolls in their current iteration? Now, it's not saying very much about women. And the best that women could do is say, "Don't treat us like a sex object." That's their selling point. Or, "I'm not like other women." It's pathetic. It really is. I mean, it's.
So what?
Go ahead.
I gotta ask you. So what happened when you went through your red pill rage stage?
I made this logo. This was like at the end of the red pill rage stage. I came to Mgtow in 2012. Created this logo in 2014. I mean, it's just basically my red pill rage stage is just finding women detestable, not hating them. I don't hate women, but it's like, man, you women are pathetic. You're supposed to be our equals, and you have the mind of a child. Most of you, anyways, not all of you, but most of you. I can't even argue with you logically. We come to some sort of resolution without you talking about you being in your feelings. How pathetic is this? Is this really what life? If there is a God, he created women to troll the shit out of men. This is the best that we could do at going back to 2014. This is the best that humanity could provide men, these creatures called women, that bleed every single month, that bitch and moan over nothing. Like, this shit is sad. Right? It is, and if someone dwells on it too much, that's why I talk about like the black pill quite a bit. I haven't talked about a black pill for a while, but it's
what is the black pill?
Black pill to me is just basically realizing that nothing really matters. You live, you die, and in between you do things that you think makes you happy. Or society will provide you with a list of things that's supposed to make you happy. Like marriage, like women, like like children, like a house, like a car, like a high-paying job, All that shit doesn't mean anything. And I think guys are fine with living in a cave with a nice bed and AC with a PlayStation.
Mm.
And women hate that shit because women want all that stupid materialistic shit. That's why I said when men are not trying to impress women, they tend to be cheap, at least in my experience. But whenever they're trying to impress women, that's what they start buying all this stupid shit.
Mm.
So that's the black pill.
Mm. I would consider myself black pill too then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from blue. Shit, I went from light blue. I was light blue, and then like it got darker blue as I moved along. Then finally purple, and then red, and then went to black. Yeah. So what? So how was it for you from going from red to black then?
PUA. God damn, that was like 2001.
Oh damn!
Like 2008, wow. 2008, 2009-ish. It's when I heard he called himself the Happy Misogynist back then. MRA messages. You didn't really hear about that. You had Patrice O'Neill, you had Tom Likas, and Mark Rudolph Shore. But as far as the MRA message, it just makes sense, right? But again, the MRA message doesn't strike the root. They talk about the laws. Men would, if these laws wasn't in place, women couldn't screw over men, and child support and alimony, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Makes sense, right? And then that's the red pill, the beginning of the red pill. And then, or maybe your purple pill, and you understand all these things, but you're still hoping that you find a woman that is above that. That's where I was in 2008, 2009-ish. 2012 is like, okay, you hear Bob Rosen says, okay, and again, I cannot recommend this video enough. Videos called "Marriage is Nothing But a Bottom Line," "Marriage Nothing But a Bottom Line," where he says, okay, fuck all that MRA shit. Let's take out the government completely. What are you getting? This is supposed to be the optimal scenario, right? The man is control of his household, over his children, over his wife. What are you getting? Well, you get access to sex. You get access to children, which costs a lot of money, $250,000 over 18 years on average. The cost for a woman is damn near infinite. A house, a mortgage, a car note, a job that you probably hate, that you work 50 to 60 hours. And what are you doing all this for? Sex that you're going to get tired of because you want to fuck other women. It does not matter. You're going to want to fuck other women. It's just in your genes, or rather your ball sack in this, to be more accurate. You're just going to want to fuck other women. Why are you doing this? Because society says you're supposed to? No, that's not smart. That I ain't never heard. Not even Patrice didn't even go there. Like that shit blew my mind. Like, you know what? That makes a whole bunch of sense. Like the root problem is male disposability. That's what he's saying. Like, if men are not disposable, all that shit is gone.
Yeah.
So that's the root, in my opinion. Male disposability, not marriage, not child support, not badass kids or single moms or the court system. Male disposability. If men are not disposable, society really, really would prefer men to not be disposable. They want men to be disposable.
Man, I don't want men to be.
No, I don't. I mean,
we talked about this. Yeah, man. Like, what would society look like if? Oh man,
right. There's no getting around it though.
Yeah,
we did 2 exercises. There's really no getting around it.
That pisses me off too because I want to get around it. I'm sure there's some guy out there. He's probably he probably thought about this and knows probably a way to get around it, but
no, because you have to have men, and in any society or culture, you have to have men risk their lives to keep the real bad guys at bay.
Yeah,
you can't have bad guys just running around just doing shit.
Yeah, but are the bad guys because they ultimately just want sex, right?
That's a good point. How many bad guys really exist if synthetics are mainstream?
Yeah, that's
That's
the
a
thing.
very good question.
If the synths were here, I think it would be a totally different society. Some people say the society would break down. I don't think so. If I can have my synth and I can focus on everything I want to focus on and then come home and she is that Disney fantasy, man, I think society will work great.
It'll break down for women because men are not
Oh,
property.
yeah, for women. Yeah. Yeah, we are. I always forget about the way, yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, these women, like, okay, synthetics, they are a direct threat. Yeah, women are not, it will not be, it's going to be blood in the streets. When sex bots become mainstream, I guarantee you there's going to be blood in the streets.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Well, let me ask you this question. When did you fully realize female nature was what it was?
When I first heard Stardust talk about Briff's Law, which is basically hypergamy, and then I started to reflect on my life with experiences I had with women and experiences of men that I knew, the experiences they had with women, and you just look and you look at like the talk shows and like the dating shows and what they want out of men. They're all saying the same thing. They talk about being goal oriented, or being ambitious, or having an education. All this shit reduces down to making more money. It's just money.
Yeah.
And again, for women, I do not blame them. They're just trying to maximize their expectation. Men are just trying to maximize theirs. Unfortunately, both of their strategies.
I blame them. I don't think it's. I blame them just because they have good. So many times, women have good things going on in their life, and they destroy it to see if they can get something better. But what they think is better is never better. That's why. And then when guys maximize, like they want like the hottest girl, right?
Yep.
They want the
or multiple hot girls, yeah.
Or multiple hot girls, and they want like a big house, and they want to have like this extra freedom. To me, that makes sense. Other than the women, because the women ultimately end up destroying the guy, but everything else, like the big house, all the other stuff, creating jobs for other people, that makes sense.
Right.
But then with women, they don't do none of that. And then they make a horrible decision. Like they'll have a guy that treats them well, has money or whatever, and then they'll divorce. Let's say they divorce a guy. They'll get with another guy who maybe he makes more money, but then treats him like crap. And then sometimes the guy doesn't even make more money. He's just a complete loser. But because he has fame or something else stupid, she'll go with the other guy. So she makes bad decisions all the time.
Women are really that petty.
Yeah.
And pathetic. Not all of them, but I would say 99% of them.
So your hypergamy should be working for you, not working against you. Like, I guess hypergamy, I mean, when you're talking about men, it works against them in a sense too, because they always get this hot girl and destroy other men around them, and then the woman ends up destroying the man. So I guess, but ultimately he does make a lot more logical decisions, and I think he benefits society more long term.
Of course, because a woman monkey branching from man to man doesn't create jobs.
Yeah,
it creates court cases.
Yeah, and destruction ultimately.
Yeah. Women are really that sad.
So you figured this out, and you're like, okay. You look back at your life, and you said, "Oh my goodness!" You talked about you listen to Briefal's Law. Now, what is Briefal's Law again? Like, if the woman can't derive something from the man, then I forgot.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yep. That's basically hypergamy in a nutshell. Every man, in my opinion, every young man, in my opinion, should at least know that and go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are men out there that disagree with that. They say that young men should have a chance or they should take a chance. Nah, I think a young man should be fully informed about the risks and the positives, the pros and the cons, and then he can make a fully informed decision about his life. Not hold something back because it may not turn out the way that you want. I think that shit is evil.
I hate that, man. I've
Yeah.
always met guys. Sorry about that. No, I don't mean to cut you off. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was done.
I hate that. In the West Indian culture, you're supposed to look at wise people, and they're supposed to tell you exactly what you need to look out for, so that you don't fall into the same traps. But I know it's like in America, it's a little different, man. It seems like they want you to go out there and and fall into those traps, so that you can then become wise. But the thing is, when you fall into the trap of marriage and getting a divorce and alimony, all that stuff, that can destroy your life. These young guys need to know the facts, and they need to make the decisions based on those facts. Don't let them go out there and make the same mistakes time after time after time.
Right.
So yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I always said that if I had a son, and I don't want one, but if I had a son and he asked me if should I get married, I would give him the data, and whatever. I would leave my personal opinion out of it completely. I'll just give him the data, and I would tell him, this is what it is, based on facts, not my opinion. Maybe I would actually tell him my experiences, maybe if that helps him. And I would explicitly tell him, it's a risk, but this is your life. You make your decisions. But if you decide to take on this risk, and you know that this game is a dangerous game for you, and you take that chance anyway, and you lose, you have nobody to blame but yourself, because you was informed. Nobody hid anything from you. Nobody lied to you. Nothing was skewed or anything else. And then from there, whatever he decides, you just support it, and you just keep it moving. So,
yeah, but you had mentioned earlier that a lot of men know about the issues, and they continue to get married, have a kid. Yeah,
chances are good he's going to roll the dice anyways, because his girlfriend is going to get on her knees 3 to 4 times a week, and he's gonna have a hard time saying no when she starts nagging him about marriage. Of course, he's gonna want to have a kid at some point, because men want to knock up women. Sex is undeniable. Procreation is pretty much undeniable. I get that, so I understand. You still have to let them make their own decision, even though chances are good that they're gonna have to learn through pain. I mean, in my opinion, that's all you can do as a parent. I'm not a parent, but in my opinion, that's all you can do as a parent. You have to let them fail, but what you do as a parent is you give them all the information, and then whatever they decide, they got to live with it.
Man, that's a shame.
Now men understand this. Women, a little different, because people like to lie and finagle and embellish shit. No, you could be straight up with men and men and boys and say, "Hey, if you fuck up, don't come home crying." But you can't tell that to your daughter. Well, I would tell that to my daughter.
Yeah,
but people will start getting on your case.
They will
if they hear you say something like that to a young woman.
Yeah, I think men are complicit in building daughters that disrespect and take from men as well, because they always they tell the man, you need to be a man, you need to do this, you need to do that. But with a woman, they say, well, you need to find a man that's going to treat you right. If he doesn't treat you right, he doesn't spend money on you. So men develop these princesses, then they go out and they screw up a lot of other men as they grow up.
Daddy's little girl. Yeah.
Daddy's little girl. Daddy's little girl syndrome.
Critical thinking question. Which is worse, a woman raised by a single mom, or a woman that was raised to be a princess by her father?
Oh, man. They're like one and the same. Man, because I've seen both. I think men raise children better, though. Like, a lot of people think that women nurture better. I don't believe so. I think men raise kids better. So even if he raises his daughter to be a princess, I think he'll instill in her other attributes that could benefit society, as opposed to a woman who lives in fantasy land and tells her that you should you should read your cosmological sign and all that bullshit.
But one the woman that was daddy's little girl is also hypergamous because maybe she's a career-oriented woman, but she's looking for that guy that's on quote unquote her level because daddy told her to do so.
Yeah, that's true. But at least the man will probably tell her, like, look, the world's not going to give you anything, and even if he says that you're a princess and a guy should give to you, he'll probably give her that spiel to where the world doesn't owe you anything and blah blah blah. Like he gives to a boy.
Yeah,
and I think that'll help her in the long run because a woman won't give that spiel to her daughter.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I tend to find that women that are raised by their fathers tend to be more hypergamous than those that are not. Oh,
really?
Yeah, because poor women that live in the hood, sexually attractive women that live in the hood, you take them out to Red Lobster, they're good. They're giving you ass 100% of the time. But the woman that that's making $100K, nah, you got to come out the pocket. And she still may hit you with that. I gotta see what's going on after 90 days. That 90-day rule, Steve Harvey's 90-day rule. Nah.
What the hell? What's Steve Harvey's 90-day rule? What's that?
Okay, so Steve Harvey had this analogy where he said, I used to work for General Motors, and there's a probationary period, 90 days, to see if they want to keep you on, which is true. So it should be, his theory was, a woman should do the same thing with the man. They should see, how things go after 90 days. If she likes them or she wants to continue, then she give up the ass. But if not, cut them loose. This way, she's not sexually and or emotionally invested in a person that she's really not into. Now, from the woman's perspective, this sounds like great advice. From the man's perspective, you never have to play this game because there's way too many women. 1, 2, you have value too. Like, why are you waiting? What are we, 15, 90 days? Really? Are you serious? Like, yeah, you just simply don't have to play that game. No. Shit, 90 days, you can have your passport, save up enough money to go to Brazil. Fuck all that.
Oh, exactly. That's why a lot of guys go down to Brazil.
Right. I mean, if a guy is slick, he'll say, okay, I'll wait 90 days, and he'll have like 2 side chicks. Yeah. He's fucking.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, not alpha male strategies, but I think Black Rams mentioned it, and the alpharonomy. He said that if you're gonna have women, you should have like 3. You know what I mean? Now, to which we talked about bitch management before, right? It's too hard. I think it's too hard. Like if you have like 3 women, you can do it. But man, like I don't get it either. I see when you're with them, they're talking about Kardashian stuff. They're not really bringing anything to the table. I mean, you can have sex with 3 girls, but then like why? I mean, what else are they bringing to the table?
Right. I mean, women are not interested in what you have to say, and you don't give a shit about what they're saying. I mean, why have a rotation of 3 again when you could just go down to Brazil for a couple of weeks of summer or a couple of times a year, get it out your system, and you straight instead of you spending all this money, your time, your gas, and energy in these women. Why? You just don't have to. Yeah. It's like I am against bitch management. I just long term is not sustainable. Short term, why even bother?
How'd you get there? Like, what clicked in you to where you said, like, man, that's just a bunch of nonsense?
That's a good question. I want to say probably when I first heard the Black Phillip show, when Patrice was saying that he went to Brazil and he was talking about his positive experience in Brazil, and he came back home and he got a girlfriend. I'm thinking like, why are you moving backwards? And now it's like, okay, this bitch management thing, what are the benefits? Well, you don't have to worry about a woman getting out of line, or at least that's what you think. You don't have to worry about being nagged. She's friendlier on average. Blah 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 blah. And then one day I started questioning that premise. Okay, well, are you safe from the law if you do bitch management? No, your risk is lower, but you're not completely safe. Two, her feelings could turn at any minute, bitch management or not.
Mm-hmm.
Three, is there something else? Why am I even doing all of this anyways for the rest of my life? For sex? Like, why would I do bitch management when I could just pay $100 if I really wanted to screw? Why not just pay $100 on Backpage or whatever Backpage equivalent that there is? Why? Why? Because I want to have a girlfriend. I want a companionship. Okay, yeah, I get it. You don't want to be lonely. I get it. I get it. I get it. Now, is bitch management worth, or rather, is companionship worth the bitch management you're going to have to do day in and day out? Telling jokes, frowning your face, raising your voice, being firm, threatening to beat the shit out of her without actually doing it or saying it. Like, is that really worth companionship? My answer that I told myself is no, because one, she's taking me away from my computers or programming and hacking and music production and graphics designing. All of those things I value more than any woman, and I always have. Like, of course, I like getting my dick wet next as much as the next straight man, but I've always found like the C++ programming language to be more interesting than any woman I've ever met.
Yeah, so that goes back to what we're talking about, what Mgtow is, right? Don't cohabitate, don't have a girlfriend. If someone came up to you and after you completed some program, all right, you made a new C++ program that revolutionized app making or something like that.
Right.
And you won an award and you were like loved around the world.
Right.
Would you like that more
No.
than being
no. No, because I already knew he was going with that. That's a high. That's a high that no orgasm could ever give you. That's a lifelong high. Like, no woman, no orgasm, no 5-second shit. I don't believe. I understand. I've pretty much. Well, I've been around my sisters since they were infants. Yes, holding a baby and having a smile, and everything, and loving a baby. It's a very beautiful thing. But for me, Mgtow Universe, something like that, creating a revolutionary application, creating a song from scratch, seeing yourself grow intellectually, seeing your skills go through the roof, investing the time, putting in the work, none of that. Not even the baby smiling in your face. And goddamn it, a baby smiling. You could be the hardest nigga on the block. You have a baby, you holding a baby in your arms, and that baby is looking up at you and smiling. You're gonna break down. I don't give a fuck who you are, but none of that compares to me growing as an individual. That's just me, though. What about you?
Man, well, I think that's what. Man. If it was up to creating a revolutionary app,
or whatever you're interested in, whatever hobbies that you're in.
Yeah, if it was up to, oh man.
Because I mean, pussy is awesome. It feels warm. It's wet. It's awesome. You're between a woman's thighs. It's like Christmas morning.
You know what? To be honest, I never really liked sex that much. To be honest. Honest, like when dudes like, man, like I had this one guy, a friend of mine. He said, man, I was like, why do you like sex? So because he was like addicted. He was just like the 3 P's, man: pure pussy pleasure. And he said it with like this look in his eyes of like nothing was better. And I remember like I've never been. I mean, I like sex, but it's nothing like. But when I have sex, it's always about I want to try I want to try this vibrator or something. I want to try. It's more of I just want to try something.
Right.
So I never really like. So when it comes to like if I was like a DJ, a deep house DJ, because I like deep house, and I was like the man in like Europe and the United States, I would definitely like that more than just having sex with your average chick, because not only with playing music, especially like house music, you see people connecting, you see people vibing with the music, and then people leave like a house, a house club, or they can leave like a carnival feeling a lot better about themselves, about their lives, and that to me is more important than just having sex with any old chick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a lot of guys are like that, but here comes the woman.
Yeah.
Hey, you should take time away from that and give me more attention.
Yeah, the Eve effect, man. If Adam, all he had to do, I remember Alpha Ronamy, he was saying, he was like, when he was like before Eve was around, there was no way the serpent could tempt Adam because the serpent knew better. Like, so all that time in the Bible, it never said anything about tempting Adam. But as soon as Eve came along, the serpent was like, "Oh yeah, I can get this chick," right? So then he tempts. And then when Eve tempts Adam to eat the apple or the fruit or whatever, Adam then go to God and say, "Man, you gave me like a idiot woman, man, a fucked up woman here. I need to get another woman." What did he do, man? He went ahead and ate the shit, and then now everyone's fucked. So I'm thinking to myself, man, but still, if you think about it, God knew what he was doing. Like, a lot of people don't like to put the blame on God, but that's another topic. But in my point of view, I mean, he didn't have to create a woman like that in the first place. Wait a minute.
Well, I mean, if he's all knowing and he's all powerful, I mean, come on, how can you not? I mean, like we talked about before, if I'm Adam, like looking at God, like, dude, why would you send me this creature that is defiant? Like, what the fuck? Is this a test, or is this one of those you work in strange ways kind of a thing? Like, you fucking up the game. You told me one thing, I'm doing what you say, and then you make this animal or this creature based on me, and she fucking up the game for both of us. What the fuck are you doing?
Man, that's why a lot of people never want to, they never want to put the blame. Oh man, I don't know, man. Like the serpent that like I said, I think it said last time, it's like, how come you didn't put the serpent in like South America or something? I mean, why'd you put him right there in the garden? I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know. But
the Bible doesn't really speak too highly of I don't know many ancient texts that really speak too highly of women.
Yeah. In general. They all pretty much say the same thing, watch out, blah, blah, blah. And that's the thing. Men have known about this for centuries upon centuries, but we're still making the same mistake. So let me ask you this. Do you think that men have lost the gender war?
No, because if men as a whole get sick and tired of women's shit, it doesn't matter what power women have. Men could just overthrow women at any point, and women know that.
Yeah, so no. But the thing is, if you have men in power, I think we talked about, if we have men in power who like to see most of men dominated, they can stay in power and use women as tools for as long as they want, right?
Yeah. But I think eventually, like, even those same women that they're propping up will eventually come after those men that are in power.
You think so?
Yeah. It's just like, because you see that now, men gave women the right to vote. Jesus, that was a clusterfuck. Men were forced to hire women or they got fines. So you had these affirmative actions and all this other shit. So of course you get tax breaks and some funding if you hire a certain amount of women, black women especially, so on and so forth. So that's an incentive for companies to hire women over men. Yeah, now, that's sexist, but that's a different discussion. So you keep on going. Again, that line keeps getting pushed. Eventually, even the men at the top, the women are going to come after you because it's like, yeah, we got here, but there's still a glass ceiling, right? It's always going to be a glass ceiling to women, always.
Yeah, but don't they say that women respect men with power? Like, they always, because it's funny because when I was blue pill,
I don't know about respect.
Well, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I don't know about the word respect. Certainly, they want to sleep with them, but I think women will still look at those men that are in power as but still they'll still have like that inferiority complex. Well,
Yeah.
they're there at the top, and I'm down here because of sexism.
You know, that's funny because, well, here's the deal. I was listening to Alpharonomy yet again, man. He has some good videos. So
Mm-hmm.
you know who Alpharonomy is, right?
I have not, but I'm going to look him up though.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, he says that he has never slept. No, he's always slept with a woman who loves her man, right? But he's never slept with a woman who respects her man. And I was thinking about that. I was like, it makes a lot of sense. However, when I was super blue pill, right, and you're gonna laugh at me for saying this, I was willing to go into like a Kama Sutra cult to try to find some techniques to try to keep a woman around long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in these Kama Sutra cults, you had these guys that were acting like, leaders of. They were not religious, but these spiritual leaders, right? And they had a lot of power, and a lot of women would go to these camps and obviously sleep with these guys because they had power and whatnot. And I was thinking, do they respect? I guess they respect them, but are they? Will they always be a target, even if the woman respects the power that the guy has?
Yeah, because if women who want to be empowered themselves, they'll eventually find those men to be an obstacle.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. The only way you can tame that if you're the guy in power, is through consequences. Keeping hypergamy in check. Absolutely. Otherwise, women will just keep playing a victim all the way to the top.
Huh.
Absolutely.
That's what I see too, man. I see a lot of women who they'll play that victim card. For example, in my workplace, there was this one lady, engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she would brag. As a matter of fact, she bragged one day that she could go out and get these guys to do the work for her. And that's exactly what she did. She went out and said, "Hey, guys, can you do this, whatever?" So she would get other men to do her work for her. But then, she was the same type of girl who was quote unquote ambitious and would want to climb the rungs and ultimately take a job from another male, co-worker who actually did the work himself. You know what I mean? So right. I see where you're coming from. Yeah. But you're always told that if you have power, if you have enough power, that you can always control women, though. A lot of men, I mean, that's what I've been told.
Women will follow the men that are in power, but unless you have some sort of system in place to keep their hypergamy in check, hypergamy will run rampant. So we see that now in first world countries where women are just monkey branching. But in other cultures, if women monkey branch, there are very real world consequences for doing that. So they don't do it. Women in countries where women are not white knighted for, and if a woman cheats or if she gets out of line with a man, they could lose their life. Those women are well behaved.
That's funny because you see that that's true in the Caribbean, the patriarchal.
Right.
Yeah, you see that. But then when women complain, they say that, we don't have enough rights and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like,
it doesn't mean anything if men are not going to fold. Women can squawk all day. Women can, like I always say, women as a whole cannot force men as a whole to do a goddamn thing except for nag. The only way that men could lose power is to give it up to women, little by little. It started with men giving women the right to vote, and then when women became the majority, that's a wrap.
Well, let's talk about women getting the right to vote. Was that really a game changer?
Absolutely, because a pattern that I think the TFM talked about this, where within 20 years, women, 20 years of women having the right to vote in a given country, more socialist policies started to take effect, like a healthcare or a child support or a no-fault divorce or stuff like that. But men that vote by themselves, they're not voting for that shit. Not on average. If a woman has, another pattern is, if a woman has a husband, she tends to vote Republic. And if she doesn't have a husband, she tends to vote Democratic. It's a pattern that's been there for the last 100 years, regardless of the country, because TFM's premise was that if they don't have a man's money to leech off of, they get the money from the government. And if they have the money of a husband, they want the husband to keep as much money as possible so the husband give it to them. So they vote Republican, which makes sense. So yeah, it's just patterns. Absolutely. You give women something like the right to vote, and they become the majority. And you can forget it. I mean, whatever men want to get past, male favorable laws to get passed, and women are the majority. Women are not going to vote against their own best interests, and society doesn't give a shit about men anyway, so it's not going to happen. So, yeah.
So why? There's all these conspiracy theories about why men give up power to women. But why do you think that men give power up to women?
I don't know. I think sex access to sexual reproduction is a little too simplistic.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they have daughters. Most politicians, or I don't know any politicians that's not married. But maybe they have when it's their mothers and their sisters and their daughters that's in their ear. People just naturally feel sorry for women. Women are not threatening. Women are weaker than men. Society doesn't give a shit about men anyways. You add up all these variables, it's very easy to see why men continually prop up women over and over and over again, because it's just so easy to see women as victims and not men. Women are soft, they're not threatening, at least that's the perception. So of course, you have this cute little thing that bleeds every single month, that is saying that she's being treated unfairly, and you look at the big mean man over here with muscles, it's like, yeah, I can see that, but regardless of the data, so of course, let's go. I'll give you the right to vote, whatever, blah 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 blah, and then the ball starts rolling.
Well, they should know by now, right? You see videos when women are hitting men. You see the divorce court videos. You see. I mean, you hear the stories of women screwing over men committing suicide over women. I mean, and I asked you this before, but men should know better by now.
Men can take a hit from a woman. Men chose the wrong woman, so too bad, oh so sad. And men are stronger than women. You know that you're going to get hit with those lines. So yeah, even though men know better, it's just people just will rationalize it. Like, well, men don't have periods. It's like, I don't know why women keep saying that. Well, men don't have periods every single month. That's why we should have this, and we should have that, and we should have that. It's like, come on, man. Like, can you make it an actual argument?
Yeah. I hate that argument. I hate the, well, I gave you a kid. I was like, yeah, but you wanted to have a kid. You want to have a kid, and it's not my fault that you carry a kid for 9 months.
So women will continue, like I said, women will play the victim to the fucking top.
Yeah.
The equal wage gap, or the wage gap, has been debunked. I don't know how many goddamn times over the past 40 years, but still, you start talking about the wage gap, this, the wage gap, that. 1, people pay attention. 2, women feel like victims. 3, and of course, it doesn't matter how many stats or what the FBI says or what the CDC says or where the Bureau of Economics or whatever the hell it's called says over the past 50 years. It doesn't matter. Women are victims. Men are scary. So
the Duluth model,
or the Duluth model. Yeah, it's just women are soft and cuddly and cute. Men are big and scary. It really, I believe it really is that simple.
Really? Okay.
A man could beat a woman's ass, and a woman can't beat a man's ass. That's why she has these special privileges, and the world doesn't give a shit about you.
It's a shame.
It sounds so pathetic and juvenile, but it's just. I've heard women say it. I've heard men say it. It's just over and over and over again. And that's where the black pill comes in. It's like, okay, if you idiots that are in power are really thinking like a child, why am I even fighting you? Why not go Mgtow? I'm like, fuck it, you do whatever you want. Just leave me alone.
Exactly. I agree with that too. The black pill. I remember when I first heard about the black. I still didn't really understand what the black pill was, but there's that black pill MGTOW provider online, and I was just like, yeah, it almost seems like, yeah, why are you fighting like this? If people are going to continue to think like this, if men are going to continue to kill other men just to get with women who are ultimately going to destroy them, what the hell is the purpose?
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right.
But
I mean,
yeah,
men will let women do what they want because hey, if worse comes to worse, we could strong arm them out. And that's true, but when you want to get your dick wet and they're the baby makers and they bleed every single month and they're shorter than you and they're weaker than you and they're cute and they're soft and you like looking at their boobs and you like looking at their ass, like you're going to give up the key. You're going to give up the keys to the kingdom because you want a 5-second nut. I can't. Athletes, politicians, business owners, all of this shit. All this shit is coming down because men are horny. It really is that simple.
Exactly. But which throws that logic argument out the window. So it basically does just come down to instincts.
Yep. At the end of the day, it's just lizard brain.
Lizard brain, yeah. And but that's what I'm talking about with the Black Widow, right? So the Black Widow, it all comes down to instincts. Like, I would think, right, with evolution, shouldn't the Black Widow spider by now have to figure it out? Like, you know what? Every time I get with this female Black Widow spider, she kills me. Maybe, I should evolve to where that's not the case.
Well, a couple problems with that. One, I don't think most male Black Widows, have the point of reference or have access to past information like we as humans do.
Yeah.
Right? So he may think, he may not even be aware that he's going to die for her to get right? He's just like, all right, I'm about to fuck. All right, let's go ahead and do this. And he doesn't know what the fuck. Now, here's the thing. Now, the female Black Widow knows the entire game. I gotta eat this motherfucker for me to have this baby. She ain't telling him shit because she knows. And of course, spiders can't talk, or at least we don't know if they can communicate. We don't know. But she ain't gonna tell them shit. And he's just, hey, I'm about to get my dick wet. Let's do it. And he's done.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is just like, as human beings, we should know better by now. Like, the guy should be like, wait a minute, she's being nice to me because I want to have sex with her, but perhaps it should.
Who's your crush? Like your celebrity crush?
My crush, man. Yeah. I don't really have one. I always say Jessica Alba in her prime because.
Okay, yeah, that's right, Jessica Alba. So let's say if you're the senator of, let's say hypothetically, you're the senator of New York, right? You're in the White House and you're getting work done, and you have an interview with Jessica Alba, and she lives in New York, and she wants you to pass a law, or she wants to endorse, or rather encourage you to pass some law, or get a dialogue started, right? And she's very friendly. She's willing to do whatever because you're a man of power, and this Jessica Alba, 2000. She's still a bad bitch today. I don't know what I'm talking about. True. She's really, in essence, she's willing to get on her knees and give you a happy ending. Are you really going to turn that down? It's going to be hard. Even though your career's on the line, you can fuck it all up by one blowjob. Are you really going to turn it down?
See, man, it depends. So, because, all right, so let's say if I was a young guy, right, and I had the same position, but I was like 26 or whatever, and I didn't know about high-end escorts, maybe I'd make that mistake. But if I was Elliot Spencer's age, when he got caught, I don't think I would go just to a high-end escort. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But see, that's another thing about me too, man. Because sex never really. But I hear what you're saying. If I was an average guy, like my buddy, the pure pussy pleasure guy, yeah, he would do it.
Yeah,
he would do it. No doubt.
Even though you know better and you know that this bitch is gonna destroy your life, or she has the potential to.
Yeah.
God damn, I want to get my dick wet even for these 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, or whatever. Fuck
yeah, my buddy. Let me tell you about my buddy, man. That was the pure pussy pleasure guy. I was in Vegas, right? Business. I was in Vegas, and I was down there, had my own condo and everything, right? I called this dude up. I was like, dude, come down to Vegas, man. We can go party, get at these women or whatever. Have a condo right off Las Vegas Boulevard. It's gonna be great. He's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do it. Next thing you know, I don't hear from the guy. I'm like, man, what the hell happened to this dude? And then I run into him like after I get back from Vegas. This is after 6 months, right? Because I was down there for like 6-7 months. I'm like, dude, what happened, man? What's going on? This dude got with a single mother, got married, like in this short time, got married, like moved her in with him. Like he started having like issues with her, like, she was crazy and all this stuff, just so he could have sex with his chick. And she was older than him.
I bet she gave up nice head though. I'm telling you.
Yo, I'm not even gonna tell you the head story, but yes, she did.
Those soul suckers. I'm telling you, those soul suckers. They'll get married. It don't matter if she's a single mom. Those women out suck your soul out of your body.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, I've had one. I've gotten close, really close. I'm like, they're the best, but goddamn, is it worth it with the negative?
Exactly. This lady ended up destroying this dude's life.
Yeah.
Like he had to. He almost got to a point to where he couldn't come back. From, but he got together.
Catching a charge.
What's up? Oh, no,
she
he spent all this money on her, and like she had a daughter. She had like a daughter that was close to his age. It was all bad, man. Like, and he spent money on her, and something like happened to where he might have lost his house, and it was just all bad, man. And I was like, the thing is, he could have just came out of Vegas. We would have hit the club. Probably would have met some chicks in the club.
Yep.
But instead, he chose what you're talking about, the sure thing, and she destroyed this dude's life.
Soul suckers will do that to you, man. I guarantee. If you ask your boy, like, why would you marry this single mom? I guarantee he'll tell you she was a soul sucker.
Well, he did tell me the story. All right, I'll tell you the story. So one time, he's chilling at his house, right? And he was telling her about like this young girl that he found attractive or something like that. So she comes over to his house because they live like a block apart in like a trench coat or something and nothing underneath.
Mm.
She backs him up against the wall, right? You know how they do. Push him against the wall, right? And immediately goes down and starts, sucking his dick. Yeah. And he said that she did it so good. Yeah. He came right. He was about to come, and then she stops. She buttons up her trench coat, comes up, looks him in the face, and then she says, I bet the young woman can't do it like that, and then just walks out. And he was mesmerized. Yeah. And then she got him right there. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Soul suckers. I'm telling you. I've dodged a lot of bullets in my life dealing with fucking soul suckers. They are majestic. But you gotta stay strong, man.
Oh man, that's the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah. The ones they don't mind swallowing kids. Matter of fact, they'll swallow your kids and do it with a smile on their face. Yeah. That gets dudes caught up a lot.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. But the thing is, yeah, a lot of them look so innocent too. That's what gets.
Exactly.
They look so innocent, man. And they play that. They talk innocent. They look innocent. They're petite. You're like, man, what's up with it? Because a lot of man, we got all right. There's one thing, a pet peeve when it comes to this Mgtow thing. Now, a lot of dudes think that if a woman has a lot of sexual partners, that she's no good. And they think that a lot of dudes think that if a woman's like a virgin or she maybe slept with one or two people, that all of a sudden she's a good person. What do you think about that?
It depends on what they want from her. I mean, I've heard stuff on my news say that the more guys that a woman sleeps with, she has a more difficult time connecting with a man because like he's just another guy. I've heard that before. I don't know. As far as experienced women and women that has to have that much experience, if I had to choose, I would choose a woman with not much experience, to be honest with you, because they're not ran through, and the last thing you want is a fucking dick connoisseur as a wife. That's the very last thing you want. So I don't know. I mean, but at 33, it really doesn't matter because they've all, or at least the way I see them, they've all been around the block.
Well, the thing is with me, I've seen it, man. I think I've seen it all now. Well, not all, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter how many sexual partners she has. The woman is shady. Like the woman's always going to be shady. She's always going to get you at the end. Like I've seen the women who've been a virgin, and I actually have articles about this too. They're a virgin, and then at some point in the relationship, she says, "You know what? I'm just going to go out and start cheating." And then she goes out and starts cheating just because she's never been with a lot of dudes. I've seen them girls who've like I had a buddy in the Air Force, and his girl was like that virgin type. Like she had only been with him, but she was a horrible woman. She was a wench. She controlled him. She told him what to wear, where to go, all this stuff. So my thing is, if a woman only has like one sexual partner, but she's a wench and she's a complete bitch, with most of them are, then what's the point? It doesn't matter if she's had 60 dudes or one dude. It all comes down to her attitude for me.
Right.
And most women, I think, I would say 99% of the women are always shady or will turn shady.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter. I mean,
nope.
But a lot of guys think that I hate when a lot of guys say, "Hey, man, I can't get with this one girl." And the thing is, what's ironic? There's some women like porn stars or whatever, or women who've had a lot of sex. There's some women after they get through with the cock carousel, they'll say like, "You know what? Now I'm just gonna devote myself to this one dude," and it's basically they just want to live that life. They pretend that they're like this nice girl, obviously, but then they'll stick with that dude. But they're not sticking with that dude because they necessarily love him. It's because they just want to portray that they're like a nice girl.
Right. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's an ego thing. I mean, do you really want a woman that's slept with like 300 guys? I mean,
but here's the deal.
All kinds of shit.
This is what I've noticed too, man. Women who've done that, what they do is, man, it's so slick. What they do is, let's say they slept with like 300 dudes in LA. Then they'll just move to Atlanta, and then they'll tell a dude that I've only slept with 2 guys, and then that's it. And then the guy will believe it. There was this one dude who was a jiu-jitsu in Brazil. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He had his own dojo and everything. And there was this one chick, she slept with all these dudes, and there was this one dude in particular, he would come on her face and all this stuff. And then what she did was she just went over to the jiu-jitsu dude, alpha male guy, and pretended to be like this cutesy, normal chick. And he got with her. And that's what women do all the time. So you never know.
Nope, you don't. I mean, unless you're willing to put in the time and the research.
Yeah, but dude ever does.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, from the woman's perspective, she wants to get married. She wants to settle down now. She has to maximize her expectation, and telling a man that you been DP'd a few hundred times and you probably slept with like 3,000 men, and you've had probably the cum of 2,000 men on your face and in your throat. It's probably not going to get you married.
Yeah, it's not. But I feel so bad for these guys because most dudes are like that. Most dudes will be like, the woman just tells them, like, yeah, I've only slept with 2 guys, and they'll just believe it.
Well, I think those guys are more inclined to believe by default or give the benefit of the doubt by default.
Yeah.
And yeah, she has to give you a reason to doubt her. So why doubt her?
Why doubt her? Yeah.
So
amazing, man. Amazing. That was just always my pet peeve, man.
Yep.
All right. So it looks like I think we covered about everything, right?
Yeah.
Like always, we've been talking for a long time, man.
We haven't touched on kids.
Oh, kids. That's
we can
right.
save that for another day if you want, but
man. All right, real quick. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Real quick, because my opinion is, from the don't have kids thing, if you're Mgtow, is I believe that you can mentor many more kids and improve a lot more kids' lives if you mentor than if you have kids yourself. So I think you should do that first if you can, and do the surrogate thing if you want to have kids. And then if you can't do the surrogate thing, I think you should adopt. And I think that's the 3 things. But ultimately, I think mentoring is a lot better because you don't have to deal with the legal system. I mean, some people might say trying to get you caught up in the legal system, but you can avoid a lot of problems if you do that instead of having kids. What do you think?
Right. And I find that single moms will never reject a man that's trying to mentor her son or even her kids, because she knows, if a man is trying, is making an effort to try to help your kids, why the fuck are you going to get in the way? So yeah, I agree. That's a better route. You know where I stand with the surrogacy thing. That's just you added another variable. It's more of a headache. But to each their own. But yeah, I do agree with that. As far as having kids, again, I've held a baby in my arms. The beautiful thing. I can do without the burst vomit. I could do without the piss up in the air. I can do without the marathon shitting. I can do without all of that. But me having a kid, would that make me happy long term? No. Short term, yes. I mean, babies are cute, or at least most babies. I've seen some ugly ass babies, but babies are cute. I don't have time for teenagers. I don't have patience for teenagers.
Yeah.
I don't have patience for toddlers because I want to slap the shit out of them too. So no, that's just not for me. I can't be happy in that sort of model. Even as a single dad, we're not even talking about the baby mama and all the other shit. But no, that's just not for me. No.
Yes, that makes sense. All right, so Mgtow, don't cohabitate, don't get married, don't have a girlfriend, don't have any kids, but you can have kids if you really want to. But try mentoring first and see how you like that. If you want to have a kid, you can do surrogacy and adopt.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking idiot.
Nope. Don't be a fucking idiot.
That's
and stay away from soul suckers. I've got to make another logo and put that on there because soul suckers will destroy your life. I guarantee you, Monica Lewinsky was a goddamn soul sucker. I guarantee you. Bill Clinton just could not stay away. I guarantee you. She looks like she's a soul sucker. I'm telling you, they're the best, and they will destroy you.
She had that look, right? She looked innocent.
Yeah.
People are like, she's not that attractive. But that's the thing. That's probably what worked, right? So he didn't expect a girl that looked like her to clamp down.
Yep. Yeah, especially if she got like nice. Exactly. Especially if she has like big lips and a long tongue. Man, stay away. I'm telling you, you will lose for 10 minutes. You will lose everything that you own in your life. Everything will be gone. Ask a lot of these athletes. Ask Antoine Walker. You just
Well, the
soul
Superhead,
suckers.
remember her? Superhead, like that's what
Yep.
she was famous for.
Yep.
She was sucking
Being a
dudes
soul
into like a
sucker.
coma.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then she came up because she put them all out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. The soul sucker. Stay away from soul suckers. If a woman is willing to get on her knees and swallow your kids without hesitation, do not fall for it. They're dangerous.
And she's doing like when you come, like you lose your balance and
Exactly.
So, unconscious.
Exactly. You just say fuck it, take it all. Fuck it. Fuck it, take it all. Stay away. I know a soul sucker will have, I believe most soul suckers will have most of these Mgtow giving that shit up in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Fuck this Mgtow shit, man. I gotta see what this soul sucker talking about.
Especially if she's like real petite and she looks innocent. Yep. Yeah. Like Lexi Bell. Like a Lexi Bell type looking chick. Yeah.
Yep. They got them fat lips and you ask yourself what that mouth do. Stay away. Stay away.
Shit, man. All right, man. Next time, man, I gotta bring up another topic. But next time, yeah. Thanks again, man. For thanks
have
again.
Have you ever? Let me ask you this question: have you ever dealt with the soul sucker?
Oh, you want? Oh, okay. I got a story for you. All right, yeah. So I've dealt with the soul sucker. There was this one girl. I was in the Air Force, man, and I just got my abs right, man. My abs. I had my 6-pack abs. Man, I was feeling myself, right? So I met this girl, man, and she was just like, yeah, you know, I like you. She was Italian or something. And I was just like, cool, let's go back to your place. And she was a soul sucker. I didn't know what a soul sucker was, but yeah, she went down on me and she was so good, man. And
you ain't see it coming, did you?
I did not see it coming. And her thing was that she liked to see like if you came on her, it was like she would orgasm. Like,
wow.
It excited her so much. Like she even told me about it. I thought, man, you weirdo. Like at the time, because I was super young, I was like, you weirdo. It didn't turn me on really, but then as it started turning me on later on. But yeah. Like so when you came on her, she would just look and she would just start shaking and vibrating like she was coming again. I was just like, wow, it like turned her on so much. But yeah, that was her thing. She loved to go down and suck your dick, and she loved that. And she was, as a matter of fact, she liked it so much. I remember one time she was sleeping, and I said, I whispered, I was like, go down on her or something like that. And then she did it in her sleep. I was like, so yeah, man. Yeah.
You lose everything fucking around with a woman like that, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know what a soul sucker. Like looking back, I'm like, oh,
I just made that shit. I just made that shit up just today. I didn't know. I just made that shit up. But yeah, soul suckers.
I didn't know. And yeah, I can see like because she was cute, man, and I met other girls like that too. Like later on, I mean, and a lot of times they're cute, and you think that, fuck, man, what you're thinking in your mind is like, she's so much into me. She likes me so much that she's willing to pleasure me so intensely in this way that I must get with a woman like this. Like your mind starts playing tricks on you like that, and then next thing you know, man, you get caught up.
Even ugly women that are very good soul suckers, they'll get married too.
That's true.
Like,
that's
oh
true.
my God.
That's true. Yeah.
Snatch your soul right out your body.
That's true. But it's the Lexi Bells that get you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, she's cute. And then you start thinking weird things like, man, I could see her like reading bedtime stories to our kid. And Like your mind just starts putting her into your future. You're like, what the hell are you doing? But you can't help yourself. You just can't help yourself.
Right.
You see yourself going to Lake Tahoe with the girl.
Yep.
You're like,
Yep.
man.
Yep. And in those 5 seconds, you come up with all kinds of all sort of visions, and then I'm like, oh, this the one right here. This is the chick right here. If I can get this for the rest of my life, I can die happy.
And that's the thing, right? So everyone knows who, you know, Lexi Bell, the porn star, right?
I've certainly heard the name. I most definitely. Well, let me look it up. But I've heard the name. Yes.
Yes, it's the short, petite, blonde chick, and she looks pretty innocent, right? So, man, so she could probably go over to maybe Italy, right, where no one knows her, and then, dude, just get with an Italian dude, and then it's game over.
Oh, this woman is trouble. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. But if you didn't know any better, like if you look at her, you can tell, right?
Yeah.
But if you didn't have that eye, right? You're a young dude. Yeah. It's all over, right?
Because she can do this. Yeah, she can sell the whole hometown.
Exactly.
So
the Midwest. Yeah.
Yep. She could definitely sell that. Yeah.
It's game over.
Yep. Yeah. That's crazy.
Picture right now. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
See, man, that got me up. All right, let me stop looking at it. All right. All right. So, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, man. That's all, man.
All right. Cool, man. Till next time, because I know that I have some more topics I wanted to run by you as well.
Absolutely. Whenever you want to, man.
All right. Thanks again, Mgtow Universe.
You're welcome.
Take care, sir.
All right. Peace.